Welcome to News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery.
Welcome to the West Texas View. I'm Johnny Lou Avery, and we're going to talk today about how you can reorder your life and how you can make goals and dream about what you want to be or do or have, and things that will make a difference in yours and your family's life, and how you can say, where am I going and what am I going to do and be and have for the rest of my life? And that doesn't mean just one thing. One of the things that I learned early on is that there are 6 sides to myself: your social life, your spiritual life, your mental life, your physical life, your own inner self, and then your financial life. And so if you don't have goals in all of those areas, then you're kind of rolling around on a bumpy wheel. Somebody will say, oh, I've got these goals, I'm going to lose weight. Well, that's just one tiny little area of your life. So Carl has impressed me as one of these people that has been willing to make changes in his life, to set goals, and to determine what it is he wants, not what society wants for him or what his parents want for him or what his other members of his family think he should have, but what is it that is burning inside me? And so I wanted him to tell a little bit about his experience as a goal setter. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you kind of zigzagged through your life.
Zigzag, that's good. I have had a few zigzags. It's been something that has given me a lot of variety, and I've had a chance to meet a lot of people and do some interesting things and be involved in stuff that I would have never imagined had I not had some kind of objective from the very beginning. And this happens to be one of my favorite subjects to talk about, because I will mention goals and goal settings in a forum like this, and I'll have somebody come up and tell me, you know, I did that and it worked, and I can tell that it's made a difference in their life. And we are made to perform and to outperform ourselves, you know, the athletic events, and that's kind of how I look at life in general, is really a sport and a competition, but within a team, being able to attain things is really what gives me the most satisfaction, being able to work together and create something that I wouldn't be able to create on my own. And so we're talking about, really, the bottom line is happiness. Are we happy with what we're doing? Are we happy with who we are? Are we happy with the people around us? And you'll hear a lot of times where people will say, well, you know, I'm not happy. Well, why aren't you happy?
What you going to do about it?
Yeah, and they'll say, well, you know, it's such and such and so, and, you know, I'm not making enough money, and I've got sour relatives, and, you know, people are just giving me a hard time. Well, to me, it seems like they're complaining about everything that they have to work with. We have to look inside and change our philosophy a little bit, because what it boils down to is, what am I not doing, and how can I change this situation? Because I don't have control over the seasons, over the weather, over how much of people give me a hard time. Now, there are ways to finesse relationships with people, but it really does boil back to what we have inside of us as far as objectives, and what are we going to do about it.
And how we're going to meet this situation we're in right now.
Right.
Are we going to let it beat us, or are we going to say, I can change it? And that's what it all boils down to. Well, I know that for most people, the hardest part of making goals, regardless of which area of your life it is, whether it's financial goals or mental goals or spiritual goals, is just knowing what they want. People die never knowing what they wanted to do or be or have. And one of the things that I've discovered is that as I grow in a certain area, whether it's spiritual or mental, I change my goals, because I see that I can do more, or I learn more and know another direction. And so that's why I say that most of us that are moving ahead are zigzagging, because we're updating our goals as we go along. But let's talk about how you crystallize, how you boil it down into, this is what I really want?
Well, the first thing, and I find that I will have my deepest desires for accomplishments or whatever come out just as I am waking up in the morning.
Oh, good.
And sometimes as I'm falling asleep. But you're kind of in that twilight between sleeping and waking up. And maybe you'll have a paragraph pop into your head that you want to write down. Maybe you're writing something, or maybe it's some kind of, you get this light bulb moment where you've solved a problem maybe that you've been having with your computer, or just different things like this. That's the time to write those things down. Now, you may have it at lunch, you may have it at dinner, you may have it when you're in church, you may have these epiphanies, or this feeling that comes over you of what you want to accomplish. If you don't write it down, it will dissipate.
That's
and
right.
You won't have it, and it'll become just something that you thought about and you were inspired by, but you didn't put it into action. And there really truly is something about taking that idea and then putting it on paper. When you write something down, you see it as you're writing it down. You're physically making an effort to put that into its most concise form. And then, once you have it written down, an excellent technique is then to read it out loud to yourself, because then you verbalized it, you put words to it, and you hear it. And there's something that happens when you do that. And then, there's a lot of steps that we can take after we've written a goal down. A lot of those steps include putting that to action. Well, what am I going to do to make that goal happen? So you then put steps to it.
We're going to have to stop because we've got to take a break, but let me just summarize what we've said so far, because step one is the most important thing. And if we dream first and say, I'm going to write down, I'm just going to make me a list of everything I ever wanted to do or be or have, with no restrictions. No, well, you can't do that kinds of things. Just everything that's ever come into my mind, and put that on a yellow pad. You'll just be surprised then how you can begin, like he said, really crystallizing them into the list of things that you want. We're going to take a break right now. We'll be back in just a minute and continue this conversation.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.